Good afternoon, gentlemen, ladies. My name is Mansaj, and I'm the janitor and driver and coder and co-founder for intelloCut. And here is Mosmi, she's also a co-founder here. Essentially, our software is aligned towards saving fabric in the manufacturing industry for any sewn products. So if you can move on to the next slide. First of all, our organization's name is ThreadSolve Software Private Limited. And we essentially are an organization who want to solve essentially complex engineering problems. And therefore, our intelloCut is our first offering, which goes into solving the manufacturing industry's problem of saving fabric. When I say manufacturing industry, I essentially mean shirts, trousers, blazers. And it's also applicable to leather industry, inflatables, and footwear as well. But for the time being, we're looking only at the fabric industry, which is garments and textiles. And that's our predominant focus. So the question is there, first of all, a need from the industry perspective to go and save fabric? And the answer is pretty much a yes. Because from the manufacturer standpoint, if you look at this particular graphic, you'll see that the 60% to 70% of the entire cost of production is just the fabric, right? And for certain fabrics like denim, etc., it's as high as 80 to 90%. So even if you do a minuscule 2% saving on that, it will actually turn out to be a 12% saving, fillip on their entire profit margin. And we at intelloCut exactly were aim to do the same thing here. Now the question is, who is a customer for us? And I'm born and brought up in Patna, and we use Bhojpuri as the common language there. And I like to bring upon one of the pronunciations of Bhojpuri of customer is customer. And it will mean that, "Oo aadmi jo kast se mar raha hai." As in, it means it's somebody who has a pain, right? And the pain essentially is simple, that you are paying more for the fabric that you're using. And who can be our customers? I mean, garment industry could be our customers. Home and textile manufacturing industry could be our customers. Same as leather industry and the inflatable manufacturers. We're also talking to certain car seat manufacturers and footwear manufacturers as well. So that's the industry we're talking about globally. In India, apparel and textile business actually occupies the second largest space in terms of providing employment to people. It also has a reasonable share in the GDP of exports. In fact, the market share, the market size in Indian industry for apparel and textile is $90 billion today, and there are 20,000 factories, all of which actually are in direct line of sight for our customers. And this is actually supposed to go to $220 billion by year 2020. And if you look at the global space, the global apparel business today stands at $662 billion, and it probably go up to $1 trillion. So we are operating exactly on this range right now. We are looking at the fabric and apparel textile industry at the first start. And before I go any further, it's important for us to dwell a couple of minutes to understand how exactly this industry works. So if we go ahead, the way they do it today is all these companies, they get orders from their own customers. Once they have gotten the order, they make certain manual calculations with their Excel sheets and stuff like that to assume what kind of fabric requirement would be needed. They procure the fabric, then they do the planning and execution part, and they finally ship it out to the relevant places. Now for point number one, which is orders and shipment, they have help from the ERPs, which are excellently work excellently for them. And for point execution, they have some help from computer-aided design softwares. Now what we do is we snap in right in the middle, and we actually ensure that all of this thing which is manual today is taken care of by simple algorithms. When I say simple algorithms, I mean they are simple from the usage perspective. Of course, it's much more complex to write anyway. So what we do here is we tilt the scales by doing everything by the power of computation. So what we say is you should buy exactly the same amount of fabric that you would need. And how we do that? We do that based on basic neural network based calculations and algorithms that we have written. We do these couple of more industry terms. I don't want to dwell into them because we don't have time here for all these things. Cut plan, row allocation, fabric grouping, and remnants are 4 specialized algorithms which we write. And they essentially what they do is they minimize the fabric wastage at all points. And most importantly, the all manual decision making, which is making the entire process inefficient, completely goes away. And now it is replaced by algorithms and algorithms only. So essentially at the heart of everything are those specialized algorithms which ensure that you would not go up, end up saving, wasting fabric. And fabric is your predominant input cost. So lowering it is definitely an important factor. So the question is, once we have all this, how do we sell this? Because industry, it's very difficult to go to somebody and tell that you are actually doing it wrong, because you won't take that as an answer. I mean, people don't like being told you're wrong. So for us, the sales strategy is a little different from what you would see in a way, because we have to first go and qualify that if the guy actually thinks there's a problem. There is a bit of education on that side. We, of course, take up their historical data, run it by our system, and then prove them that if you had used our software in last month, you could have saved these many dollars. And that's the most critical piece which we deliver, and that's actually kind of a barrier to entry we set in for other competitors, that if you have to compete with us, you have to at least show that this is going to give you this much amount of value. And that's very, very important for us, and we have not seen a single customer turn their backs on us once we have shown them the value. And of course, we go for a trial and we try to sell them. And while we try, we give the trial on, basically the important point is that the channel of delivery. We can give you, the way as we have structured, we can give you a completely web-based system, which could be cloud-enabled. We can also give you an in-house deployment if you really want that way. And there's, of course, a mobile application through which you get real-time data feed of your entire factory's production in real time. So you know exactly what's going on, and if there's any changes, you can immediately adapt to that. All right, next is what's the traction for us. So far we have we have been in touch with only 6 customers. Actually, this number is wrong. We are in touch with only 3 customers, and out of which 2 of them were referred to us by one of the customers here. So what we did is we went to these customers, we took up their orders, we ran it by our system, we showed them the value of the saving, which always comes in the range of 2 to 5%, sometimes even more than that. And then these guys would refer us to some more customers as well. So far that's what has happened in last 4 weeks. We started this entire process from 1st of November, and we have 6 interested trials right now, and from 15 December we go in for 2 implementations, and in January we have 2 implementations planned. So that's our status, and of course we are at ERP, and so we are at UnPluggd here, and we do have 3 ERP inbounds. These are the established ERPs in the government sector who want to integrate with us. So that's the structure, that's the status of traction we are at. And the question is, what could happen to us in the future? And that's nobody knows really. I mean, because scientists are still debating, would we go into a big bang or we go into a big crunch, or I can't really predict that. But there are 4 scenarios, right? One scenario is we sink, which is which is going to be, looks unlikely, hopefully. And other option is we can run our own, which is a possible option. Or we can as well go in and become integrated with one of the ERP or CAD vendors. Finally, I'll take just half a more minute to finish up one more slide here, which is what we do essentially. So we are software which is going to save fabric, labor, and time for any manufacturing sewn product. And we actually went out to test our product in a company in Bangalore. They produce 8 million shirts a year. And they said that, I mean, they have seen all the softwares from everywhere, and they haven't let anybody actually implement anything in their in the cutting rooms, because they don't work. And we went out there to test how good we were. We took their 3 months data, we processed by our system, and then when I came back, we had a number on the board. The number was $5. I said, okay, fine. All we have done after our efforts is save them a movie ticket. All right. Then Mosmi was doing the entire calculations. What she did was she did put another 0, and I said, well, now we can save them as much for maybe a dinner in a restaurant. She put another 0 after that. So now it becomes $500. I said, fine. That looks like 10 grams of gold. That's still okay for me, but for an organization that's not good enough. So then she puts another 0. I said, okay, fine. It's $5,000 is a Maruti Alto car. Okay, not a bad deal as such, Then I came another 0, and then I was starting to get worried now that how many zeros do we have, because this now means an SUV, and finally we have the final saving is $500,000 for them. That's the number we showed them, and consequently we were invited in their CIO's cabin that evening itself, and we would be going to meet them day after tomorrow for the finalization of the deal, etc. The point is, what we have done here is we have taken the best of the industry's perspective and enshrined them into algorithms and provided a way so that the industry can actually go and save fabric. And Indian industry and the apparel industry is extremely important industry for our country because it is one of the biggest employers, and it makes sense to strengthen their hands, and that's what we're trying to do here. One last thing, lads. Like Saurav Ganguly said, right, in his last presentation to the media, that I'm retiring. That's what he said. But in this particular forum, we are launching our product. So this is a launch for intelloCut. Thank you very much.